living in a world gone geek. It's time to geek hard or go home. The podcast is real. Here's your host, Grounded Geek.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the podcast is RealLY live. We are here live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook all at the same time because of the wonders of technology. Wherever you're joining us from, we welcome you. We thank you for being here. You may also be listening to us in podcast form, which is dropped the next day, which is great. And we appreciate you listening and helping us with the numbers there. That's awesome. But we do this on Sundays live or every other Sunday. And we'd love to have you join us in the live studio, I'm making air quotes, podcast people, audience. With me, as always, are my faithful companions. Here's Utah. Welcome to the show.
Hey, greetings, fellow programs.
And there's Aaliyah coming in down there. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing good. It's been a crazy week. It's been very hot in Cleveland.
Hey,
and
that should be the name of a show.
It should be. I think I should pitch that somewhere and see if I can't make it happen.
Hot in Cleveland?
Yeah, that
Hot in Cleveland.
that actually
Today.
That actually was. Is it still on? I don't remember.
I don't think it is.
I don't think
Yeah.
it is.
It's hot in Cleveland today.
But
It sure
Because
is.
tomorrow it could be cold.
That's true.
True. That's very true. That's very true.
That's true.
What's the season today?
Yeah, in Cleveland or in Ohio, at all in Ohio, you just, if you don't like the weather, wait a minute and we'll see what happens.
That's
Because
right.
that's,
Because Ohio is well seasoned.
it's, we experience a lot of seasons here in Ohio. Hey, welcome again to the show. We are talking this week about something that is very near and dear to my heart. It is a toy that I played with lots and lots when I was a kid. And what we're trying to do with the show now is kind of take it in a different direction. We've been kind of behind the scenes working on things. We have a couple more episodes this quote unquote, again, I'm making air quotes, podcast folks, season. We have a couple more episodes and we're going to take a little bit of a break over the summer. We're going to do a San Diego Comic-Con special episode, a wrap-up episode there in July. That'll be fun. And then we'll be back in the fall with some more brand new episodes and kind of a little bit of a new format. And we're trying a little bit of that now. So what we're doing is this being World Gone Geek, instead of focusing on kind of the news of the day, even though we'll sometimes chat about that, we can't get away from it. We're always kind of having those conversations. But that won't be the focus of the show. The show is focused on trying to celebrate the things people geek out about, the things people love. And so this week, our focus is Lego. Lego is something that I played with all the time as a kid, not that kind of Lego. And I absolutely loved to play with Lego as a kid. My kids played with Lego. Utah, were you a Lego kid as well, I assume?
Oh, yes. I was what you would call a Lego aficionado.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And it was
a Brixianado.
Oh.
There's going to be a lot of that tonight, folks.
I see what you did there.
Aaliyah, what about you? Did you play much Lego when you were a kid?
I played with some Legos. I was definitely more of a Lincoln Logs gal. But I still enjoyed the Legos. You could do more with Legos than you could with, Lincoln Logs because there were so many different pieces, right? But
sure.
True. And they actually interlocked.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Instead of just having the little divot in there.
Just laying on top of each other. Yeah.
No, but Lincoln Logs were way cool. I did that. Well, you remember there was lots of toys like this, right? There was Tinker Toys. Did you? Maybe not by the time you were around, Aaliyah. Maybe they didn't have Tinker Toys. What was the ones with the? Yes, exactly. What were the ones with the little bristles on them? Was it bristle blocks?
Yeah.
Do you remember those?
Yeah.
They had like little bristles and they could stick together. It was. I think that was what it was called.
We'll send you some links about that one, Aaliyah.
Yeah, that's that. I don't think that there was much of those.
They were not very big
in the later generations. Yeah, but I remember playing with them as a kid. I thought that was awesome. But they also you couldn't make like really good shapes with them because
there was
odd how they would fit together. But Legos were perfect for making pretty much everything, right? And have since just gone nuts. And I've been spending a lot of time on TikTok lately. And I know it's weird. But it's actually kind of fun. There's a lot of interesting fandoms on there. There's a lot of interesting other things on there too that you can avoid, but for the most part, yeah, you can find there's a Star Wars TikTok, there's Lego TikTok, there's and if you get in there and you like the right things and follow the right people, then the algorithm starts to realize that you're into cosplay and these types of things, and you start to see some really kind of creative people. And I stumbled across some Lego creators on TikTok that just fascinated me. And one of them is a guy who goes by the Brick Educator on TikTok. And so if you're on TikTok,
nice.
Make sure you follow him. I think he's got a YouTube as well, but he was actually very interested about being on the show. I asked him about being on the show, and he was interested. But I think it's like 3 or 4 a.m. where he is right now or something, because he's in England.
Denmark? Yeah.
He's in England. Yeah, he's actually in Denmark. Yeah, he's.
That's where Lego's headquartered. So that's why.
Right. But no, he's really cool. I'm going to actually play one of his videos here real quick for you. So this is the Brick Educator.
Thanks, Ben, for this one. This is going to be fun in the comments.
So this is a video where he's answering the age-old question: Is it Lego?
What's the plural?
Or Legos?
Yeah.
I play with Legos, or I play with Lego.
My guess, and this is how I've always said it,
plural?
is Lego.
But
No
it's
S.
plural.
I play with Lego.
You're not playing with just one Lego.
Okay.
The whole system is called Lego.
Right. So then
You're playing with bricks of Lego.
No, I feel like that doesn't make sense. All right.
Okay,
if I'm playing with, if I have, I don't know, a cat, it's a cat. But if you have multiple cats, there's the plural. It doesn't make sense. All right.
Okay. All right. No, that's good. You've made a decent case. Let's find out the real story here. And the Brick Educator will tell us the actual story. Here it goes.
So the official answer is Lego has to be an adjective. It always describes a product from the Lego group. So Lego bricks, Lego minifigures, Lego sets.
So that's interesting. So it's not
really okay. So
it's always used as an adjective. It's not a noun. So I don't actually play with Lego. I play with Lego bricks. Interesting. Or Lego play sets, or Lego minifigs, or Lego, whatever. It's interesting. Or a Lego Millennium Falcon. Yeah. I wish. How much is that one?
Basically, what you're saying.
This came with my advent calendar.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool one.
So what you're basically saying is everyone has been doing it wrong for so many years.
No, I think people just say what they want to say, and it's fine. It's not like it's wrong. He's just
stating the
proper
official
term.
Technically the proper way to hear. Let's see what else he has to say real quick.
There's no such thing as Lego or Legos as a physical object. And this has been stated by the Lego Group on their Twitter account a few years ago, actually. And we've also mentioned this one on the channel before, but thank you for asking. So guys, in the comments, what else would you like to know? Drop me your questions,
So yeah, he answers questions. People pop in there with all this cool stuff. Cool. And the guy actually does. He's an actual educator. He works with education systems and with kids. So we're going to be talking about a movie a little bit later that talks about getting Legos into the education systems. And this is a guy who actually does that, which is kind of cool. Which is why I really would like to have had him on the show.
Yeah.
And he's really educates people about Lego and uses them to educate kids. So the robotics and all the cool things and how Lego can be used.
How Lego bricks.
I can't. Yeah. How Lego products can be used to teach, and so that's a pretty amazing thing. But so I'm going to put the links for those of you of our podcast listeners. You can check that out. We're going to put the link to his TikTok so you can see more of his videos. In fact, here's another one. This is not him. This is someone else. But this is a really cool, this is just kind of an amazing thing that you can do with Lego. And I'm sorry, podcast folks, again, I'll put the link in the show notes. But, it pays to come live. You get to see some of the things we're going to share.
Yeah, that's true.
But here's, this is not him. This is a different channel, but this is a cool thing. This is Hogwarts.
Incredible. Look at the moving staircases and everything.
It's mind-blowing. They got ghosts that move. They have... It's very loud on my end. I don't know if it is for you guys. There we go. Sorry. It's fantastic. It's one of the most amazing Lego things I've ever seen. It's basically all the photos, all the paintings.
All the paintings and the
and stairs, moving stairway. You've got the lobby down there, kind of where the kids go up the stairs. Yeah,
that's impressive. That's in
it's
somebody's
mind-blowing.
house?
somebody built that, and I believe so. I asked this TikTok creator if I could use this video. They said sure, and then told me it wasn't even there. So it was a video that they tagged the original creator. I'll try to figure out who that is, and we'll make sure they get credit. But just so you know, we're not taking credit for this. Obviously, it's not us. But yeah, that's pretty cool, right? Like that is pretty amazing. This is what
absolutely
the extent of Lego. So I remember making with like 4 pieces a little airplane that I was like, as a 5-year-old, and then people are building this now. Like this blows my mind.
And a lot of that also, what helps is that Lego as a company have come out with very, very different and customized brick shapes, shaped bricks that we didn't have as kids.
Sure.
Like I think the most exciting shaped brick that I had growing up was like the slanted one where you could make roofs.
Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
corner piece.
But now they've got like flat ones and octagonal one. I mean
Yeah.
So it's
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're moving along and keeping up and
Yeah.
You know what?
making it fun.
When people do things like this, even with like Minecraft, right? Like there was like a Minecraft guy that created like the entire Harry Potter,
Yeah, I've
or
been on that.
Hogwarts or whatever.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing.
But it's like how you are probably printing off images, right, of like the Hogwarts
Sure.
building and spending how many hours doing this? Like
Yep.
that's phenomenal. It is
Yeah.
phenomenal.
I mean,
What is
it's an amazing creative outlet when you think about it. Like some of us may sit there and draw. Some of us may write a book. Some of us might, make a costume. There are cosplay folks out. Somebody might just read books. You know what I mean? You might be reading Harry Potter. This person's like, well, I was inspired by what I read, and now I'm building it. This actually more is based on the films, but you know what I'm saying. But
Yep.
it's just a creative outlet. It's probably cathartic. As you might do a puzzle or play solitaire. You know what I mean? They're sitting there building, and it's just like this, helps you focus
meditative.
your mind, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very, very cool. And then
Very
this one is very special. I picked this one just for you, Utah, and I actually am thinking about maybe having this guy on the show at some point. He told me I could use his video, but this one I picked out specifically for you. Here we go.
Oh, that's outstanding.
Gosh.
And it sounds pretty damn good.
This
Yeah.
is my Lego ukulele.
Oh,
To
wow.
stay in tune, I put a carbon fiber rod in the neck.
Ah,
It
okay.
also has geared tuners, a wooden fretboard.
It's got a fretboard,
Lego
too.
inlays,
He's answering all my
and a wooden
questions.
bridge.
Yeah, so it's not completely Lego. Like there's a few.
No,
like he has
right.
the carbon
He's got-
fiber, the what did he say? The geared
The gear tuners.
tuners. Those are like legit tuners, but he built it out of Lego, and I just think that's hilarious. Now he's obviously a uke guy. He's not a Lego guy. Well, he might also be a Lego guy.
Right, but
You,
like,
you can be
you
more
see
than
the-
one thing, people.
Right. You can see in the background the various.
Yeah, he has all these. I love this like electric uke back here, and this one. What am I looking at here? This one's kind of cool.
The red one in the middle there.
Yeah, there's some really cool stuff. So, I mean, and like I said, here on World Gone Geek, we're celebrating what people geek out about. Utah geeks out about ukuleles and ukulele music. This guy obviously is a kindred spirit, and it'd be fun to have him on the show to talk about ukulele, right? You guys can
be
play a
very
duet
cool.
together or something.
And I love how he has all of these like guitars and ukes in the background. That was so neat.
Yeah. So Lego has been around for forever, and it's very interesting to see, kind of how far it's come. It actually, I was doing a little bit of research, and there's a couple of documentaries out there that you can actually go and find more information. The Toys That Made Us on Netflix. Did you watch that,
Yes.
Utah?
Yes.
There's a
That was
Lego
one of my-
episode on there
that was one of my
that's really
favorite
good.
episodes of that, yeah.
There's a brickumentary, which is actually on, I think, Amazon Prime right now, which is a thing about Lego. That's really good. But what's really interesting is that the Lego company started all the way back in the 1930s. Yep, and he built wooden ducks. The guy, a toy maker, built wooden ducks.
maker, yep.
And he called it Leg Got, which I'm sure I pronounced incorrectly. I'm sorry, Danish friends. But it means play well. And also in Latin, it turns out it means I put together, which he didn't know. But
I
how
love
cool is
that.
that?
What a coincidence!
Right?
I love
What an
that.
incredible.
He meant play well, and he used basically the Latin for I put together, which
pretty
is
awesome.
I put together and I play well. But yeah, and people have been playing with Legos ever since. But I did find out. So started out with wooden toys. His son started making wooden toys too, like it's a family business. And then they got a plastic molding machine,
that's right.
injection molding machine in like the 1945 or 6 or something like that. And in that, so that was, but the interesting thing is when they bought that machine from Great Britain, it's, you know how you buy like a 3D printer nowadays? This might be an example. You buy a 3D printer and then you find, you know, here's how to use the 3D printer and you can print something off, right?
Yep.
Well, apparently how to make these bricks was part of the instructions.
Wow.
They didn't actually invent it. Like they stole it from this guy in Great Britain.
The guy
And-
in Great Britain had no idea what he had.
Well, no, well, they were already making them. And so as bricks, yes. And so it was a company called Kittycraft in England.
Yes.
And so the
Self-locking.
Lego guys like making them too. And then this guy who originally invented it and patented it, he like died or killed himself, I think, because he was going through a divorce. It wasn't just because they stole his idea, but and then I think, gosh, I want to remember. I think it's in the 80s or at some point Lego bought that company, bought all the rights and erased it from existence.
So nobody
Like
knows
erased
except-
it from history. So
nobody
Lego,
knows it except for Wikipedia.
yeah, not just Wiki. I mean, there's a lot of sites out there that confirm it. So I don't think it's just rumor or just legend. But I thought that was kind of an interesting story. But either way, it's a brilliant little idea. Lego obviously took it and ran and just made it into a phenomenon.
Oh,
so
yeah, look at it
you
now.
can't deny that they made it what it is today. And that's pretty amazing. But there's also a lot of fake ones out there, right? A lot of clones.
Sure.
Lego has made a mint off of licensing from Star Wars and Marvel and
Harry
gosh,
Potter.
who else? Harry Potter.
Definitely.
Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
So-
all the
And
big
they even
movie
have like
franchises.
those they even have like those like aircrafts. I used to see those in Barnes and Noble.
That's
where
true.
you can
Yeah,
create like the construction
They've
ones,
got- Yeah, they've got different series. They have like a NASA series where you've got all the different spacecraft that NASA has done. They've got different architectural buildings. I don't know what kind of
Yeah.
licensing that involves, but you can build like a 6-foot tall Empire State Building totally out of Lego bricks.
And there's like the Lego in Chicago, Lego Museum in Chicago. There's like a life-size
Yes.
Barack Obama and
Yes, that's right. I
yeah,
forgot about
it was
that.
really cool.
I've only been to the fake one up by Niagara Falls in Canada.
There's a fake one.
Well,
one?
so there's something called like the Brick Dome or whatever, but and there's no mention of the word Lego at all.
It's not
But
officially licensed
it's not
Lego
an
thing.
officially licensed Lego museum, but you go in and it's like they have this huge cityscape that's I don't know, takes up a dome the size of someone's house, and they have all these trains going around and airplanes flying and all this stuff, and it's pretty cool. But again,
Yeah.
not officially licensed.
No, I think that I think it's interesting these licenses that they've gotten, because that I think is what really helped Lego stay alive all these years. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
In fact, I think in one of the documentaries even talks about they were almost going out of business at one point, and then just they finally saved it. And but the fact that you can get Lego Star Wars stuff, I mean, that to me,
Yeah.
I don't own any of it; it's too expensive. But it's amazing, right? Like the Lego Millennium Falcon,
The Death Star,
the Star Destroyers. You can find all these.
Destroyers, right. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. And then, but the knockoffs, we had some, and again, the knockoffs, you can tell it's Lego because it has Lego written on every stud,
Every
right?
little
Every
stud.
Yeah.
every little
Yeah.
dot. We had knockoff brand because they licensed with Halo, and I can't remember the name of that knockoff brand.
Oh, right.
But we had some Halo toys that were made out of Lego, not Lego, out of a brick toy
out of bricks.
that was similar to Legos. Yeah.
Right,
So
was it Creo?
that might, yep, I think you're right.
I remember-
KRE-O, I think,
Yes,
something like that.
because I remember they had like a couple different like GoBot.
Yeah.
But again, right, not Lego, but Brix.
And it turns out that apparently there's some animosity between like Lego aficionados and these Chinese clone company. I guess many of them are made in China, these clones. And so they're like, you're not a real brick. So there's gatekeeping going on in the Lego community, just like in Star Wars and everything else. You're not a real Lego fan if you have any fake Legos in your Lego collection. And
Sure. Yeah, well, yeah.
so to me, it's like if you created it with Lego or created it with the fake one, if it looks really cool, I'm still giving you props because that's
I don't know.
amazing.
I will say, especially with our kids, we didn't get like, because Lego has like the larger bricks for kids called Duplo. Right?
Duplo. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, we went one further and got even the bigger bricks called Mega Blocks, which are not Lego.
That's right. That's right. They're not.
They're still, big.
They fit with Duplo though, don't they?
They do not.
They do not. Okay.
No, they're way too big to fit with Duplo. So.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't know. They weren't Lego, but they were Mega Blocks.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you got to make the affordable choice when you're finding a hobby, right?
That's true.
They are very expensive.
Yes.
I've thought about doing it, like even with like this is not in the same realm, but with like wanting to build like Gundams and stuff like that. Like things like in that creative realm are very pricey. And so
yes, yeah. I mean, and I can understand with Lego, especially if they've got something of a set of a Star Wars license or any other license, you're going to have to pay for some of that licensing cost to Lego. But also at the same time, I feel like Lego sometimes focuses on the big sets because all these amazing Star Wars or Marvel sets that we're talking about are thousands of pieces. And so they're going to be at a certain price point. But I want to see more smaller. I want to see like the smaller sets where you don't get the huge Millennium Falcon with like the moving turrets and all this stuff. But you can make something that's more medium sized, that's maybe a couple hundred pieces, that's more affordable and also easier to manage. But I don't run Lego, so.
And if you're on the podcast and you're wondering what that noise is, Elise is making something in the background, and I want to know if she's making enough for everyone.
Yeah, she's making enough. Should she be doing that with her wrist?
She ordered Chinese food.
Oh, okay. Then I repeat my question. Did she order enough for everyone? That's right.
Well, then
because I would love some chicken lo mein right now if I could.
It gets back to the. Or how about some mugu gai pan?
Mugu gai pan.
She's like, what? What did I do?
What? What? What?
They said if
she can't even.
Oh,
she
by
can't
the
even
way.
say it.
Oh my gosh! We were so immersed in our conversation that I totally ignored the comments. But Circuits and Strings, who we showed the ukulele, said thanks for sharing the video. He was watching.
Hey,
so how cool is that?
Awesome.
And if you're still out there, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, we thought it was amazing. My friend Utah, my co-host here, is a big uke fan himself, and plays ukes and does all that. So if we saw the video, maybe you heard me saying we'd love to have you on the show. So we'll be in touch. We'd love to talk to you probably in the fall when we reboot. But we'd love to maybe talk with you. That's great. Cool. So glad that he was out there watching.
That's awesome. And saw that. That's cool. Still no answer on the Chinese food though.
Yeah, we don't know if we're gonna.
Mugu gai pan. But wait. What did you call it? Did you call it mugu gugu?
Mugu. She's like that little old lady who's trying to use the Google virtual assistant.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, gugu.
Okay, gugu.
Oh my gosh, too funny.
You got to be careful, Aaliyah, because it's very important on where you emphasize. Because mugu gugu is different than mugu gugu.
That's awesome. All right.
Okay.
So,
and we still don't know if there's enough for all of us.
I have some crab rangoon and some egg rolls.
Some crab rangoon?
Yeah. Stop it. This is a game night. You're gonna lose me.
Oh my gosh. So I wanted to share one more thing. So tonight like I said, we're talking about Lego. We're having a special guest coming on in about 10 minutes. So it's going to be a few more minutes. But I'm very excited about this special guest. There was some miscommunication on my part as to the fact that he's in California and we're in Ohio in our time zones. So when I gave him the times, I didn't specify that I am in Ohio, and I didn't give him the Pacific time. And so now he is being very awesome and very flexible and is about to jump on with us anyway, which is awesome. But the special guest is he'll be here shortly, like I said. And he's the director of a movie called Brick Madness, and Brick Madness is all about Lego. We'll explain that in a minute, but don't want you to go anywhere because that's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun to talk about. It's a really, really funny movie, and I'm looking forward to talking to that. But in the meantime, I want to take a moment to tell everybody about I guess we're calling it kind of a no sponsor. So he's not a sponsor. But it's a company that I absolutely adore. And so they're not paying us for this endorsement. We're just doing it. We're just endorsing them because we think they're great. So this week, again, I've been playing around on TikTok a lot lately. And I stumbled across this company on TikTok. A young man is there in this video, and he's selling crazy socks. He's selling socks with cool decorative things on them and all that kind of fun stuff. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. I like these socks. And so I wanted to look more into this company. The company is called, and I've got a thing here. It's called John's Crazy Socks.
Oh, did you get is that a bag?
That's a bag. So I ordered socks.
I'm like, what?
I ordered socks from John's Crazy Bags. This is what it came at. John's Crazy Bags. I got this bag from John's Crazy Socks. Even if we could get a sponsorship from them, they're never going to do it because I can't even say the name of the company right.
But I will say this: if John were selling crazy bags, I would buy some.
I would still buy them from John. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. John's Crazy Socks. This is them. So what it is, John is a young man with Down syndrome, and his dad, they are entrepreneurs. They started this company together. It's a father and son thing, but it's clear who the salesman is. It's John, and he's in these videos just talking about these really cool socks. In fact, I'm going to bring the and for those of you listening on the podcast, I always have to give a caveat for everything. Those of you on the podcast, you should just watch us live. I'm just kidding. We want the podcast listeners to. This is their website. Yeah, it'll be in the show notes. I'll put the link there. But this is their website. As you can see, they have a lot of cool, crazy socks. John is this guy right here. He's just a joy. Awesome. And as it says here, John's Crazy Socks is a father-son social enterprise inspired by John Lee Cronin, a young man with Down syndrome, and his love of colorful and fun socks, what he calls his crazy socks. And so they have a whole warehouse full of socks. And they you can buy them. They have a Sock of the Month club where John picks out his favorite pair, and everybody in the club gets that pair of socks for the month. I actually went in there and bought a pair of, and I don't have them. They're in the laundry, but that's what came in this story. That's what came in. Trust me, they need to be washed. I was wearing them for like 3 or 4 days straight. It's still technically still a pandemic, so I don't have to leave the house, and so I've been wearing the same socks.
I guess that's better than the dog ate them.
Yeah, exactly. The cool thing is, so I bought a pair of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy Don't Panic socks.
Towel day's coming up.
Just in time for Towel Day. It's on Tuesday. So don't forget your towel on Tuesday. Aaliyah's like, what are you talking about?
Towel Day?
It's a whole nother conversation. We're not going to do it on this show.
It's another episode.
Yep. But anyway, it came in this bag, which is awesome.
That's awesome.
And inside the bag was some information about their company, a note, a handwritten note from John.
Oh no!
He even drew a picture of socks up here for me.
Oh, so great!
But it says thank you, and he didn't send this to me because I'm special and we're talking about it on the show. Like I'm just a customer, and this is what I got. You know what I mean? This is what they do. And it says, thank you for your order. We are excited you joined us in spreading happiness. I hope you come back and order from us again. Thank you so much, John. And of course, I will be ordering more socks from John because they're awesome. But it came with that. It came with some more information about the company. And it came with a little bag of Skittles. And anybody who knows me knows that Skittles are one of my favorite candies of all time, which again, they had no idea, but John picked out Skittles for me. So there's little surprises and things in there, and
Nice.
it's
That was
just
so awesome.
it's just wonderful. And so a portion of their proceeds go to Special Olympics. And there are at least over half the employees there have differing
I was
abilities,
just about to say.
I love
which
that.
is fantastic. And so John's Crazy Socks, please go and order stuff. And here's the really cool thing. Like I said, I spoke to the dad, and they were actually going to come on the show, but it just didn't work out timing-wise for us to do that in this episode. So I decided, so they're going to come back at another time. We're going to figure out a time for them to be
have
here.
on the show. Absolutely.
But they did give us a special promo code. So if you're watching this
Nice.
and you want to buy John's Crazy Socks, put them in the cart and use the code WGG10, 10% off your whole order. So World Gone Geek 10.
Outstanding.
We have
Yeah,
a
so
promo code. Look at
we
that.
do, yeah. Even though it didn't work out for me on the show, but so that's our no sponsor, meaning we don't have a sponsor. But doggone it, we're going to endorse this company anyway because we care about them and what they're doing, and they're spreading happiness, and that's what we're all about too. So, great job out there, John and Mark. His dad. I don't know what Mom's name is. Sorry, Mom. Mom's getting not getting
mom.
mentioned, but yeah. And for all the folks at John's Crazy Socks, that's our plug. That's our ad for
There we
today.
go.
Our ad space. We did it.
That's our non-sponsor sponsor.
Yes. So that's cool.
Fantastic.
I should have shown some of the cool socks that they have there too, because there's a lot of really fun ones.
They have a ton.
There's a lot of pop culture ones too, which is what we're all about, obviously. But they also have like bags and tote bags and things like that
So
they can do.
They do have John's bags.
Yeah, they do. Good. Thank you.
They
Thank
do
you
have
for
John-
redeeming
they
that
do
for
have
me,
crazy bags.
Aaliyah.
They do have crazy
Yeah.
bags.
John's Crazy Bags. Oops, hold on. Let me bring it up. There's one right there.
Look
So,
at that.
Look at that
tote
crazy bag.
And here's another one.
Oh, that one's so crazy.
You got Rugrats. There's
Rugrats.
Chucky.
Great.
Dr. Anthony Fauci catchphrase socks.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, this could be for our rainbow babies. We could wear this for Extra Life this year. Some rainbow
Check those out.
that looks like the Rainbow Babies logo.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's decent prices. They got Looney Tunes, Bitcoin, crypto socks,
Now,
Rick and Morty, Pickle Rick.
Wait, they have Rick and Morty.
can
Now-
you
now-
choose the size? Like if you want ankle socks, high.
Yeah,
knee
they've got
socks?
different sizes. You can filter on like what type of sock, whether it's
Yeah.
ankle, crew.
Okay, cool.
Now we did.
show.
Now, John and I did have a little bit of beef on TikTok because I did post a TikTok thanking him so much for the socks. But I was like, I'm looking at your Hogwarts and there's no Hufflepuff.
Oh, he has all the houses but Hufflepuff.
Well, he didn't have Ravenclaw either, but I don't care about Ravenclaw because I'm a Hufflepuff.
All right, now I'm upset.
Wow.
Now I'm upset because I'm Ravenclaw. This is a
Hufflepuff
bunch
for
of-
life.
Whoa.
But no, it's a great cause and it's a great company and you're helping some great people. So if you could check that out, John's Crazy Socks, that'd be awesome.
Awesome.
All right. So we're almost to our special guest who has just arrived. He's in the green room. So I'm waving to him. Hello. And we are going to go live with him in just a second.
We're chopped liver earlier.
But I waved at you.
But
and
we
then-
can't wave it.
Oh, you can't see that he's in there. I'm special. I can see all of the.
We went
all
over
of the
this
things.
already.
That's right.
We're only on a need to know basis.
So one
That
of the
includes
things.
Elise.
Oh,
one
he
of the-
posted in the private chat, by the way.
Oh,
Okay.
did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he can't hear. He can't. You should be able to hear us. You should be able to hear us.
We're going to be writing or typing then, are we?
Yes.
Oh, we can play charades. Two words. Two syllables. 2 words. Oh, peace. 2 words. Heart.
What are you guys doing?
I don't know how to play charades. I'm
She
not
doesn't
gonna
even
lie.
know.
She does
Yeah.
not know how to play charades.
What does
All
the
right.
nose mean when you touch your nose?
That means you got it. Like
You're on the nose, right?
you're on. Yeah, you got
Oh,
something.
you're on the nose.
Right. And
What about the
on
elbow?
shoulder is how many syllables?
Okay, he
Oh.
can hear us now. All right.
Well,
So before we bring
Elbow?
on our guest, I do want to give a little heads up. So again, the movie that we're talking about today is Brick Madness. It is all about.
Hilarious.
It is. Oh my gosh, so funny! It's a mockumentary about kind of the world of brick building, because we're not using the word Lego for that.
We're not using that.
Even though we
adjective.
talked about it the whole first half hour.
We're not using that.
We're gonna stop using the word Lego now. But no, I have this. I want to play another video from the Brick Educator that I found on TikTok, because this guy explains some things that I wish I had seen this before I had watched the movie. I watched it again today, so I've seen it twice now, and I watched it again today. And since I've been watching this guy on TikTok, so many little Easter eggs about the world of Lego came out in this, including some of the acronyms that they used, and I thought it was really cool. So check out this from the Brick Educator.
Fact 35. This is also a public service announcement for anyone new to the LEGO community, because today we're talking acronyms and what they mean. So first, the most popular one you'll probably see here on TikTok is AFOL, that is Adult Fan of LEGO. Then have TFOL, Teenage Fan of LEGO, and then my community, the EFOL, so the Educator Fans of LEGO. And then you have the building styles, so you've got Mock, My Own Creation, and then you've got Snot, Studs Not on Top, and one of my favourites, Burp, Big Ugly Rock Piece. Now in the comments, guys, there's so many more that we can teach people, so put your favourites, the ones that you use every day, and let's keep learning and building together.
Nice.
All right, so Snot is actually used in the movie.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it meant until, I did from the movie, they mentioned it, but I'm just saying, like, this guy explained. But I got to find out more about Burp. That one I don't know. Big Ugly Rock Piece. Do you know what that means?
I think that just means it sucks.
Is that what it means?
Oh, I was
know.
thinking it was like a big rock, like
Or-
not a big
well, I mean,
rock,
or-
like a
well-
big brick.
I guess if the category of the competition is to build your best rock, then maybe that doesn't maybe that doesn't translate. But
I don't know. All right. Well, before we bring out Justin, we're going to go ahead and play the trailer for everybody. And then when the trailer is done, we'll be back with Justin in just a moment. Here we go.
Whoa, are you guys are making a documentary about bricks, yeah?
Let the celebration begin!
This is awesome!
My name is Cedric Donovan. I'm here in Fresno, California, making a documentary about the bricks world.
As we crown a new bricks national champion.
So do you have any heavy favorites in this competition?
Heavy favorites. Ricky 6.
I've been hearing an awful lot about this Ricky character. Who is he?
Who's Ricky?
You and your crew are formally invited to celebrate the last days of the legend, Ricky 6, and the dawn of Ricky 7.
A dude that changes his name every time? Come on.
I already told you I'm gonna be Ricky 50, and then I'll stop.
He knows how to play the crowd, he knows how to work the judges, he knows the system.
When you're the best at something, am I just supposed to walk around and pretend like anyone can touch what I do? Come on, it's ridiculous.
That's what Ricky looks like.
That's amazing.
He's stupid.
Ricky's trying to tromp on your territory, right? Seems like kind of a turd.
Is that with a O or an A?
It's an A.
I already put an O, so.
Ricky 6 is not Max Grand.
Max Grand, really? We're still talking about this guy.
He was the godfather of bricks before there was even a family tree.
He's a legend.
Max freaking Grand, oh my gosh, like Lord of Bricks.
Win from 98, win from 99.
The dude had to cheat last time just to level the playing field.
When my hero gets accused of something like that killed me.
Okay, I'm not talking about the incident.
You guys don't know what you're talking about, do you?
Do you? Yeah, this is your first time. What do you know?
I'm Seth Paxson.
Seth Paxson!
Up and comer, came out of nowhere.
I mean, that's really it. Nobody knows Seth.
You're in charge of like a school program, right?
What's your name, little dude?
Nicholas Grandiminian?
Wait. Say that again, one more.
This is Max Grand's little nephew, Nicholas.
I'm hoping that he's gonna bring it.
Okay, let's start again.
Okay, let's start again.
Compliments from the gentleman in the corner.
I gotta win. I gotta beat him.
That showdown right there means everything. Everything, bro. Everything.
When I grow up, I'm gonna be in the bricks tournament. I'm gonna be just like you.
That's inconceivable. Next.
All right. Whoops, I brought that. I need to remove it, not make it bigger.
Hey, there he is.
Welcome to the show. There's Justin McAleece.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Good. How are you? I hope I pronounced your last name. Can you help me make sure I pronounce it correctly?
McAleece.
McAleece. All right.
Yep, that's how we say it. It's not really written that way, so that one's not on you. That one's on us.
It's all
My
good.
forefathers, whoever it happens to be.
That's okay, Justin. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. So, well, it's my fault that we didn't have a chance to talk about the pronunciation of your name before the show because I gave you the wrong time zone.
You guys are in the eastern place, and I'm in the Pacific place.
You
so
sure
here we
are. And I knew that, and it didn't even click when I was emailing. I should have been clear. But hey, man, we're so glad that you showed up.
Yeah.
This movie is so funny. We are so.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Oh man, I'm happy to hear that. Yeah.
Fantastic.
We were absolutely.
much.
Adore it. And so just so this is Utah, this is Aaliyah, I'm Jeff. We've been talking on email, but we're just kind of gonna hit you with a bunch of questions, things about the movie. Aaliyah, go ahead and ask the question that you had mentioned before that we can get us started with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that I was like really curious about was what was the inspiration behind the film, right? So like, were you a Brix, Brix kid? What was
it.
I wanted to say a Lego kid. I didn't know if I was going to use the incorrect term, but were you a Brix kid? Just sticking with the flow of it. What was the inspiration behind the
Yeah, totally. So growing up, I was totally into Lego, and that was what I did all the time. So when I was like 10, 11, 12, any of those, or especially before that as well, that was... Uh-oh.
Sorry, that was my... there you are.
That was like my favorite thing, and so I was always doing that. And then, a while went by, another 25 years or whatever it happened to be, 20-some years, and we honestly were working on a different movie, and I had always liked mockumentaries, and we were just sort of spitballing one day while we were on set, and we're like, let's make a mockumentary. Let's do something that would be really easy. This is in 2009. Let's do something that would be really easy, that wouldn't take very long to make and put together and all that. And, sometimes when sort of inspiration strikes, it's something that has been boiling around in the back of your mind for a long, long time. So I'm like, well, let's make fun of something, sort of. It's like how we started, like, let's do something people take really seriously that seems like, how would anyone take that seriously? And so we sort of plotted on that for a few minutes, and then I'm like, I love Lego. Let's do something about Lego. And so, yeah, originally it was going to be called Lego Mania or something like that. And that was the idea. And then quickly I'm like, that's probably, we need to come up with our own version of it and do it that way. And so that was how we put it together. And so that was a pretty quick flash. I mean, literally, like, the main characters, the concept of it, the mockumentary, all that stuff happened one day on set, and us talking back and forth on the walkies. The walkies always down here. Us talking back and forth on it. And that's sort of how it happened.
Now, I love that you said that, kind of like, what can we make fun of? But one of the things I love about this movie is, I mean, obviously there's a lot of fun being poked at that kind of world, but it's also very respectful and loving of, like, this idea of, like, that these are creators, these are artists that are doing this kind of thing. And I mean, obviously some of the characters are, jerks and that are just, full of themselves,
sure,
and narcissists.
But you're going to find that in any group.
100%.
You put 10 people together, and you're going to find some people that sort of fit in. Yeah, exactly. So we'll decide. We'll show at the end of the show which one of us it is. Now,
right.
Anytime you're going to find that in any microcosm, and that's all this is a microcosm. It's a fan community of some sort that's really into a thing. And so we just wanted to dive into that. And we realized very early on, like, what our sort of our guiding force was going to be, especially behind the comedy, and like how to get at that. And we realized that, like, for one, it wouldn't make a good story just to be poking fun at, to be insulting these people. Like, that's not, no one wants to watch someone get kicked while they're down. And by the end of the movie, that's all we would be doing, regardless of our take on it. And also simultaneously, as we're like learning about this, legitimately interviewing people and just getting into it, we had a resurgence in understanding of just how complicated, how good, how artistic these people were, and how much they were putting into their craft. So like it didn't even make sense at that point. And so pretty early on, we decided we sort of drew a line in the sand and said, like, we're not here to make fun of these people. That's not what this is about. We have to make fun of the individual characters within the world because that's sort of what you do in something like this. But the concept in general, like there's something sacred about that. And we definitely have to preserve how great it is that what they're doing.
One of the things that I really liked at the end of it, you kind of contest to this, was when you, well, I guess it was technically Cedric, because I was so confused. I thought that Cedric was the director of
Justin.
Yeah. Well, we tried to do that. I mean, that's it. It's in the credits at the beginning. We never have my name. We never have anything about me. We don't talk about Bear Media or like we tried to make it as separate as a Cedric Donovan film and have him be the thing.
That was super successful because Aaliyah literally right before when we were discussing before the show, and this isn't a knock, Aaliyah, right? I mean, this is how good your movie is. Literally at the end, like she thought the guy playing Cedric was the director of the movie.
Cedric was going to be here today,
and that's who she thought was going to be here. So, and I'm like, oh no, wait, he's one of the brothers, and so it was just kind of funny, but. Go ahead with your question.
I would love Robin to hear that. Robin plays Cedric. I would love him to hear that too, because I mean that's a testament to him, and he helped write it and all that stuff. Of like, and I've had a lot of people say that, like we got put in a documentary category at a film festival because people thought it was an actual documentary.
That's fantastic.
That's so like that's super fulfilling to me. I'm like, that's great that's what they think.
I thought that this was like a real thing. I was like, are these like real people?
Well, she's trying to find Dig Dung, right? Weren't you trying to?
She was asking about Dig Dung.
I was trying to Google it. Like,
it's so fantastic. I love it.
But no, like one of the things that Cedric said at the end, towards the end of the film, was, we didn't really know the area that we were going in until, we started really diving deeper into this, and then we found that there was like this really large underlying passion for bricks or Legos, and I loved that. Is that kind of the case for you, or was that so true? I guess what I'm asking.
Yeah, some of that is absolutely real in terms of us understanding just how large this world was, and that was part of the reason why the movie didn't get completed in the time that we had originally thought it would get completed, is because we realized that like we needed to do it justice, like how deep this was, how many dedicated people, professionals in a lot of cases, are in this world. And so we just leaned into that so heavy, and we're like, we can't just do this, because like in the original drafts and everything, it was like they didn't really even have a convention. They wanted to get together and have a big convention, but it sort of failed, and they were in someone's basement and they crowned the winner of the losers. Like that was sort of our idea really early on. And then as we got more into it, we realized that just wasn't going to do it justice. So yeah, that was that. And also, our understanding of who Cedric is he's an avatar or a proxy for the audience. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to get people that don't know anything about Lego or about AFOL or about any of that stuff. We're trying to bring them along. And so at the end, he's like, oh, what are these bunch of dorks doing? I don't even care here. I don't even want to be here. There's some cut scenes where he goes more into that. He's like, what am I even doing here? Why am I working on this when I could be working on a real documentary sort of thing? And he's talking to his producer within the movie. And that was important to us to sort of set him a little bit, I'm not so into this, so that by the end of the movie, he could really have some respect for it. And yeah, that was his arc, as they say, for his character. We wanted, and hopefully the audience felt that way. They're like, who are these guys? What is this? And by the end, they're like, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Utah, go ahead. I know you had.
I can't. Well, first off, I got to tell you, this movie is fantastic. It's
so good to hear.
It's right up there with my favorite mockumentary, Spinal Tap, Best in Show,
man,
all that.
I appreciate that, Utah. We put in the work, man.
I mean, well,
really
so after watching it, I went down the Brick Madness rabbit hole. And I was surprised to see that it took 11 years. This journey.
Totally 11 years. Yeah.
Wow. So like. Why did it take that? Like, why was the process? So you mentioned that it was trying to pay more respect to, the subject.
Homage.
I'm a full-time filmmaker already, so we already do this stuff, video production daily. And a lot of times 2 years ago, before pre-pandemic, I was like 200 days of shooting a year. So it's just like, it's just a lot, and it's a lot to be able to fit in the movie and hopefully do most of the things correctly, and hopefully find enough cameras available and the rest of the crew that I need to be, so like when you're seeing the crew, anytime you see the crew, you're basically seeing the people that are also shooting. Like there's not a facade there. Those are the people doing the thing. We did a little bit of it to where you don't see some of the crew members because we had to swap them out and it wouldn't have made sense. But aside from that, like you're seeing when a guy's holding a boom, we're holding a boom. That guy's getting the audio in the scene. And so that was something that was getting back to my point. We were doing whatever we could to get it done at any time we could. Most of the problems, honestly, were post-production, and that's on me. And that was just because it's hard. I don't know if you guys have worked on a project that you've worked on a long time, or just, even working on something in your garage, you just like, there's a moment where we're interviewing Max Grand out in his garage, which is my aunt's garage. And he's talking about, I just don't really like coming out here anymore. It's just like, I don't know. I'd rather play video games. It's just more enjoyable to me.
Right. Yeah.
And like, that was so home for me as the filmmaker, like at the project itself, at the premiere project file, because I knew every time I brought it up, it was just going to be a nightmare to like reconnect stuff and make sure everything was where it needed to be and be able to actually cut it and whatever. Gotcha. And it's just like, there was months like that. Like, I don't know, it's out there. I'd rather play video games. I don't even play video games, but I still wanted to like, it was the dirty secret in the corner. So, it's on me. The reason it didn't get finished in time is on me. And what, just to add on to that real quick, is like the world of distribution is always a very difficult thing in terms of you're trying to hold out, you're trying to like put it on a pedestal for all these various ways to like get it the best sort of premiere and the best sort of potential to get distribution, all of that. And so you're trying to spin 20 plates at the same time.
Sure.
And when one of those, when you don't get bites or you don't get the right type of distribution you're looking for, or someone says no, you sort of have to start over again. And so there was like 3 or 4 times we did that, right? Just to like get it to the thing and then no, and then, okay, well, we have to redesign our whole approach to this. Yeah.
How many versions did you end up having? Like through the 11 years, were there like final cuts? I'm using air quotes for our
podcast. No. I did so in 2000 when was it? 2017. So God, I'm really getting confused right now. I think it was I think it was 2018. 2017. 9/7/17, I think is what it was. Anyway, we did a local premiere. And we rented out a Edwards Theater, and then we did one at a bigger theater downtown Fresno called and it was really called the Tower Theater. It was great, and we had like almost 400 people there. Nice. Anyway, when I went to rent out the Edwards Theater to do it there, the movie was not done yet, and I signed the paperwork to like do it 2 months later in July, and I was like, well, that's what we're doing. The movie's going to be done. And literally that was the only thing that made it finish. And because I had 150 of my friends and family there. And if I wasn't done, I was screwed. So like, that's what I knew I had to, no matter what, this has to happen. And sometimes, for me, at least that sort of motivation is very important at times. So that was a version that was about the version you guys watched is 99 minutes. That one was an hour 52 or something like that. So it was 112 minutes or so. So I cut about 13 minutes between that and the ones you guys saw. And I took it around to a bunch of Lego. There's a bunch of brick conventions all around the U.S. and all around the world that I took it to. I went to 5 major ones, maybe 6 or 7 if you count. But that year in 2017 and 18. And I watched it enough times to be able to jettison some of the stuff that wasn't totally necessary. But it's very hard for someone like me and maybe most filmmakers to like get rid of stuff until they feel like it's seen the light of day. Gotcha. I think that was important to me. At least somebody saw it. At least someone got some of the jokes that I had to cut, and then it was okay to cut it. So
oh no, there are jokes on the cutting room floor.
Man, there's some brilliant stuff. And I don't claim that I thought of any of this or did any of this, because some of the best stuff is improv. But yeah, in the DVD or Blu-ray, there's some really excellent cut scenes that just don't belong in the movie because you didn't quite have the room for them, but there's just some moments that are so funny. And then I was reminded that there was a couple of things that I forgot totally about that aren't even in there. There's the LARPing scene, whatever.
There's more of that LARPing scene?
Yeah. There's more of the LARPing scene in Ricky.
The names of those characters.
Oh, yeah.
I saw those in the credits, like Aladdin the Paladin. And
Yeah, that's fun, right?
Oh, my gosh.
My ex-wife is the one.
Booba the Fett? Or
Booba Fett, yeah. Booba Fett,
Rager.
She's Christina, she is a, cosplayer. She does cosplay as Booba.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's too fun.
Who it is. And then Nicole is the other one who says at the end, it says, do you want snacks? Do you want Jello? Yes, of course, Jello.
Yeah,
of course, Jello.
So he's so funny. And that's not written. That's just all made up on the spot. And anyway, that's my ex-wife, Nicole, who helped with the whole damn thing. We got divorced in the middle, too. That was sweet.
Oh, that could have,
yeah.
Very
Right, like a year before
filming,
good God.
So it sounds like we need to start a hashtag release the McAleece cut.
I like it. Let's do it.
We'll see if we can get HBO Max
couldn't
behind
be worse
that.
than Snyder's cut.
Right?
That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I know you do.
We already talked about it.
Do you have 4 hours?
Yeah, we did a show about that already.
I had an hour, and I boned out. I was done with that. Yeah, and it wasn't. I hadn't watched the other cut either. I'm not even saying his cut was worse than the other cut.
It's better, but there's still a lot of problems.
It's just that whole movie just sounded like a 10-year-old describing it to a bunch of executives.
It's kind of,
and then there's gonna be all these women, and then they're gonna be this big round thing. They're gonna have like spears, and then Batman's gonna come, and he's gonna be all, and then Aquaman in his pants, he's gonna be so bad, and then he's gonna come and. It's like that was the whole movie to me.
What's Batman versus Superman like? Well, and then they're gonna Superman's about to kill Batman, and then they're gonna find out that both their mothers are named Martha.
Whoa! Yeah. That's called twist.
Shyamalan twist.
Shyamalan ding dong.
That's right.
Yeah. Not my thing.
Let's talk about some of the characters. So you were talking about. Let's just start with Ricky because we were talking about him there at the end of the LARPing scene. So some of it was improv. Then some of the stuff that was said was not scripted. How much?
He has more improv than other people, I think.
Yeah.
Most of the interviews, basically everything that we did on interviews wise, was like they say the lines. They know all the lines, and then we continue doing the interview after the lines are over. So we know which stuff that we have to handle, and we handle all that stuff no matter what. And then some of that got cut, and then we continue going on and just free flowing it. So there was a decent amount of that. And he's gifted. He's one of the funniest dudes you'll ever meet. Anthony,
he's hilarious.
He's just so good. Yeah, and there are lines, and I pat myself on the back about this one. There was definitely times when I was cutting a couple years later or whatever it happened to be, and I was like, God, that's such a funny line. How did he think of that? And then I look back at the script and I'm like, oh shit, we wrote that down. That was totally in the script. I forgot about that. But there were also a number of things like him saying, when in the trailer. So two good examples is, when I want to grow, when I grow up, I want to be just like you. That's inconceivable. The one that ends the trailer, that's written. But then the other one, is that with an A or an O? That's not written.
That was so funny.
That was so hilarious.
Good. Yeah.
I already did.
We're like, hey, let's just run. Let's have you signing because you guys didn't see that scene. That's a cut scene where he talks to. What's funny? He talks to his wife, not within the movie, but in the real world, and she's like, because they're having a press conference, and she's like, hey, what do you love about the Brix world? What makes you come back? And he like is so just over the top, like, you know what, people like you're the ones that keep me coming back to come back later and I'll sign whatever you want. What's your name? And she says her name and everything. And then she shows up 10 minutes later to the table and he's like, who are you? What do you want? Oh yeah, $25. Yeah.
That's great.
His line about what is it about underprivileged kids because they're
vegetarian. Their parents are vegetarian.
That cracked me up. That was
now, how old is Ricky supposed to be?
He's supposed to be a little bit younger than Max Grand. In real life, he's 2 years younger than Max Grand, maybe the same age. I forget exactly.
I'm just curious because he was gonna keep doing it until he got to Ricky 50, and so I'm just imagining he's at 6 right now.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while. Yeah,
that he's gonna be like this septuagenarian.
You know, he thinks he's just winning multiple titles a year or something. They're gonna have new ones.
That's funny.
He's gonna be the brick athlete of the century. I don't know, but he's probably 35, 32 within the movie. 30.
That's awesome. I could just imagine he's still at these Brix tournaments.
Brix tournament. Yeah.
That's fun to imagine. So tell us a little bit about the production, because I know that you had to find. I mean, you had to find brick. Or Lego conventions, right? Didn't you film at an actual convention?
Yeah,
or maybe
so
more than
Brix
one?
by the Bay. Brix by the Bay is the one that we did in Santa Clara, San Jose area.
Oh, cool.
So the guy who plays Rupert. So there's the brother and sister, which are Rupert and Reggie.
Yes.
Oh, I love that bacon is just candy meat.
Yeah, that was fun, right?
Meat candy.
So Rupert in real life, he was an employee of mine at Blur Media, the video production company we run. And so then when we thought of the movie and all that, I went to him and I was like, you play with Lego still, right? You still build with Lego? And he's like, oh yeah, man. Yeah, all the time. And I was like, oh, are you pretty good? He's like, oh man, I'm the best. And we're like, oh dude, I should have you build stuff for this. And then we went, so he's like, yeah, go to this Santa Clara. I'm mocking him, but yeah, I love the guy. So then we end up going to we went the first year and we did interviews the first year. Yeah, we did interviews the first year, and then we went back 2 more times, I believe. But he was there and he was competing and he hooked us up with the people that were running it and all that. And he was he cleaned up. He won all the major awards at the competition that was there. And it's not a tournament in the same way, but it's just it's sort of there's a whole bunch of categories and people just vote. And he was killing it. And we're like, oh shit, our boy's good. This is hella good. Yeah. We didn't quite realize. So cut to 3 years later, and we made the movie. He made the majority of the mocks in it that were specific for the movie. And then we used a bunch of other people that we found out from the convention to bring all their stuff in as well. Cut to 3 years later. So dude works at Lego. If you go to, yes, absolutely. Carl Merriam is a designer for Lego. If you go into the store right now, he worked on the Saturn V rocket. He designs all sorts of stuff. So he ended up getting a job at Lego. I don't know if my thing had much to do with it, but he was just really good. And it might not have hurt. And so he moved to Denmark. I don't know, 5, 6 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, he lives in Denmark, and that's what he's been doing.
That's fantastic.
A dude from a small town in Central California. Yeah. That's cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a trip.
I love the scene in the bathroom when he is in the cosplay, the Lego cosplay.
Yeah.
First of all, I love Regina's cosplay. We were cracking up at that when we watched. So today I watched it with my with 2 of my boys. The first time I watched it was just me.
Yeah.
And I was watching it with my.
You gotta make sure.
Yeah. Well, no, I watch stuff while I work. I'm trying to multitask. And so I watched it, I laughed, but then I was like, I want to see this again because there's just so much I probably missed because I'm doing multitasking.
Sure.
And so my 20-year-old, my 15-year-old sons.
Oh, they're not kids. Kids.
No.
Gotcha.
We watched it today and we were just cracking up when they come out in those costumes. But then I also realized something I didn't realize the first time when he falls down in there. The reason we can see him is because one of the crew did install one in the bathroom, even though he was told not to. He's like, be discreet
To be fair, it was
use your own discretion.
Yes.
Yeah, use your discretion.
Yeah.
We're like, how are we gonna have this scene? This scene doesn't make sense. We want to see it. Did they hack into some cameras that were already there?
Circuit?
No one would put closed circuit in a bathroom. All these how do we make this work? Because we
so
love
that
this
line
scene.
is for that scene, then, right? So that was that's
absolutely.
funny because it seems like a funny throwaway line until he falls down in the bathroom, and then you're like, yes, thank goodness he put that camera in there. So we would have missed that. And Marvin is in there, can't touch anything.
Can't touch anything. That kid was hilarious.
So that's
Marvin's
another one of the characters. Marvin was ready for the pandemic well before any of us.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't it prescient?
Shows up with the mask, won't touch anything. It was pretty great.
Yeah.
That scene, it was so
Never
uncomfortable.
refused to
Oh,
listen
no,
to me.
no.
Yeah. He's a director, local director here in town, writer, director,
Wow.
actor, does some other stuff, but most of the time he's director. So I work with him all the time, like, every single week for the last couple of years, basically. And he's a big time video director of one sort or another, and owns another production company. We were in the same building with them when we shot it, and now we're a mile apart or whatever. But yeah, Byron Watkins, good guy. Most of the people aren't actors. I mean, I believe they're really good at acting.
Yeah.
But Alan Agazarian, who plays Max Grant, he's not really an actor. Let's see. Two people that are one person that is in the movie is a full-time actor.
Well,
Everyone else,
Richard
is like
Spate
either
Jr.
Yeah, true.
I was about to ask about
yeah,
that.
he counts.
Which I was gonna, I mean, I may as well ask now. So Richard Spate Jr. is in it. In fact, if you go to IMDb or Amazon Prime,
right?
you would think he's the only actor that's in it. He's in it for like, I know.
I have nothing to do with how they rank that stuff. They rank that stuff based on who the biggest name is. Yeah.
For those listening who might not know who I'm talking about, so Richard Spate Jr. he's been in tons of stuff, but he's in Supernatural. He plays Gabriel, the trickster demon, or demon, but the trickster.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's great. I love him from Supernatural
for sure.
And it's funny because the second time around, I realized that he's standing outside on a phone during the restaurant scene.
Yes,
I'm like, what is he doing out there? But I'm like, that's him. And then he comes in and he has a couple of lines with the main characters. But that was it. So I wanted to ask, like, how did that come about? Do you know him? Is that how he got cast in this? Or
we did a movie in 2009. I worked on another movie in 2009. We didn't start shooting this until 2012 or so. Well, we did most of the production for Brix in 2012. Anyway, in 2009, I met him on a movie that I was a camera operator on in Lee Summit, Missouri, called Three Blind Saints. So he was in that movie with some other fairly big stars and all that stuff, and I just got along with him pretty well. And so by the time it was over, and as a camera operator, you have to tell people where to stand and what to do and how to move a little bit and all that stuff. So we had a bit of a dialogue back and forth, and I pitched him a couple jokes like during the making of the movie, and I'm like, I'm not supposed to do that as a camera operator, but I was like. There was a couple things that I'd fed to him. He's like, that's pretty good, actually. I'll try to throw that in there. He needs it. He's a funny dude. But
he is.
But anyway, that's how that worked. And so I hit him up. I was like, hey, I got this movie. I want to put you in it. It won't be a big role or anything because you probably don't want to do that. But like, if I can get you for a night, we'll shoot this stuff. And so that was how it went down. And he's been super nice about it. And he was never like, hey, don't use my name on that. I was only in part of it or whatever. Because I know that can happen.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah,
uncredited cameo sort of.
Yeah, exactly. He was super cool about it.
Well, the other thing about the ranking, obviously you don't have any, is IMDb has all the kid actors.
They're so big, right? Yeah.
Up there first, like Fitz and the kid who plays the nephew of
Nicholas
Max Grant. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Jaden and Cole, they're twin brothers.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they're brothers. And then there's another one that's there's one more younger brother. I forget his name right now, but he's in one of the scenes as well. Yeah, their mom is super nice, and we worked with her on another movie, and that was why we found those kids. So yeah,
that's too fun.
Brilliant little kids. They're like going to college now. It's so weird.
That's so crazy,
right?
They watched the movie, and I was like, "What'd they think of it?" I asked Tammy, their mom, and they're like, "What did they think of it?" And she's like, they didn't even remember doing that. That was so.
Well, but then the question is, has the one kid gone to space yet?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's the smarmiest comment. That is legitimately my favorite joke in the whole movie.
Like,
just like how he says it,
his delivery and the.
Like,
I mean,
he's really good.
And then, do you guys notice? This is one of those other little Easter egg sort of things. Is she? So Jenica, the one who plays Scarlett, his mom, crosses her legs and uncrosses her legs, uncrosses and then crosses legs, and you see the what do you call it? The little box for her for home arrest. It's on her ankle. Yeah, it's her ankle bracelet.
I missed
basically
that.
is there.
I did.
So
Yeah.
she's like
that was very
talking
good.
mad trash.
That's too
while
funny.
She, has her
She
ankle
was
bracelet
great.
on.
She was so funny.
Yeah.
When they're arresting her in that final scene, I'm like
freaking out.
She's doing her own
sold it.
stunts. These poor guys that are trying to
man.
carry her for taking a
Yeah.
beating. It was
She
great.
was committed. I mean, that was
so good.
Like, it was so real. Like I really thought
that tape. Yeah.
I thought
Give me my Prada. That was one take.
I hope it was one take. Yeah, I was going to say she might
so
not be able
funny.
to do it again.
She was fantastic. Yeah.
So let's talk. Go ahead, Aaliyah. Sorry, go ahead.
this is more of like a silly question. So
there are no silly questions.
In the scene where it's like the finals and it's like that 24-hour scene. You look worn out. Your head's on the table.
Me personally.
Yeah. How did you?
That's all
wasn't
real. I was worn out. My head was on the table. That's the documentary part of the thing. This is awful.
That's the real part.
Yeah.
How did you feel when your brother just came up and smashed your?
Give me there it goes. Talking about one take. I mean, we only got one take on that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I don't think we built another one. And he was within my mind. Yeah, we're giving away all the movie, but whatever. He's putting me out of my misery, right? It's like we do the little fist bump Blaze of Glories thing a couple scenes prior, and that's what all it was. It was like, my thing sucks. Like, look at this thing. This is like dumb geometric. It just sucks. And so I'm not gonna win. I'm gonna probably get fourth place anyway. I might as well just destroy it, and my character's like, you son of a. You're right. So I was trying, I'm not an actor by trade either, but in my best acting ability, I was trying to get that, like, what the? Okay, this makes sense now.
Yeah.
Good. I'm gonna take off. I'm out of here.
I wanted to ask about that. So we're talking about the different characters. The two of the best characters in the movie are the Rockermeyer brothers, which is played by you. And is that your actual brother? That is,
yes.
Or is he?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the same last name, and I can see in the eyes you're related.
Much. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He doesn't look that much like. Yeah. People often don't actually think we're brothers visually. They can tell later, but
it seemed like in the eyes, I was like, they might be related in some way. And then I was like, okay, they have the same last name. There's probably. They were really funny to me. Like they were like the Jay and Silent Bob type of, kind of camaraderie, kind of like I liked them there, and they were there to just kind of disrupt things a little bit here and there, especially your brother.
They were the rock stars is the wrong word, but the punk rockers of the thing. They were just there to stir some shit up, and that was sort of based on too, like some of the other characters we met, some of the other people we met in real life. There were sort of characters when we interviewed them. So there was a guy, Andrew Lee, that we. Yeah.
Is he the one with the sunglasses?
He is the one with the sunglasses. Yes, exactly. And when we interviewed them, that was like early on in production. That was 2010, maybe 11. When we interviewed them, we got a sense that they were like a little counter to the rest of the people that they felt were more stodgy within the Lego community and the convention and all that. Not to put anyone on blast or whatever, but that was like the vibe we got for them. And so as we were developing our characters, we're like, this makes sense. We can like ratchet that up a little bit and have us there to start some shit. There's a line in Mallrats where they say, just because we're guys that are into comic books doesn't mean we can't start some shit. Like, I think that was like the genesis for the
That's
Rockefeller
awesome.
Brothers idea.
Yeah. I love that. So I got to ask about this one scene though. The scene where they're taking your brother is trying to grab the invitation from, and it goes flying around. And your reaction to that made me laugh too. Like, and I just feel like, was that totally just like that just wasn't supposed to happen quite that way?
I mean, we weren't planning to do that. We were just having fun with it, and however it played out was what we wanted.
It ended up hilarious.
Thank you. It's a power play. I mean, all that is because we're up against two minions and we're putting them on, but we're not putting them on, but we make them think we're putting them on and all that. And it's the same exact thing that we were doing to Regina before, so that we could get the thing to be able to make the thing in the first place, right? Yeah. So I mean, it's like they're constantly trying to game the system, whatever that system happens to be, and they know that. And even when it comes to Ricky too, I mean, they're the only ones that don't really put up with Ricky's antics, right? And so that's just a way to throw them off enough to where he can get into it. And then some of the times, like there are definitely moments in the movie where I'm probably just impressed by my friends. Like legitimately, I'm not like I sort of fall out of acting, and I don't know if it's bad or not. I'm not sure, but I'm just like, that's funny what he did, or I really like this thing. Or my brother's hilarious. Like,
it was
definitely
awesome.
happens at times, and I'm like, whatever.
It felt real. It felt more natural. Like when that happened, I was just like, this is great. This is. I mean, I don't know. That's the kind of stuff that I like. That I think gives it that
interaction.
More of a realistic kind of feel.
Yeah, we definitely tried to lean into that stuff as much as possible. And there's a couple moments that I cut that I really loved of like that were very much like things Ian would actually say to me or brotherly things. You know, and the things it's important to me too, especially in a mockumentary. You want to one of the guiding principles we already had was like I like to assume other better, funnier stuff happened while the cameras weren't rolling. And I also like to assume that like things are always happening before and after this that are part of the whole story. And we just happen to catch a glimpse of these things, of these little moments in time, but that nothing is like made for the camera. And I think when mockumentaries go wrong or any comedy, really, it's like only the crowning moments of hilarity are like on screen. And that makes them oftentimes just seem fake and yeah, they just don't play right for me. And so we tried very hard to understand what was happening before and after those things, and also to have a camera in a place that a camera could actually exist. Like we were always deciding why the cameraman was watching what they were watching at any given time for it to make sense to be on camera, and why Cedric would include the thing that was there. So like he couldn't do anything that made him look too stupid or too smart or too anything. He had to. So there was a lot of reverse engineering of that, and also like reverse psychology as well too, because it's like he puts himself at the beginning of the movie not really liking Brix, so that later people like Aaliyah can be like, oh, I like that he went on that journey, but he did that as a character, as a filmmaker within the movie on purpose so that someone would do that. Like that's how we were thinking about the whole thing. And so when it plays out and people like it, hopefully that's why.
But I think it's that continuity, right? Like when you really have that and you're cognizant of it now after talking with you, it flows so well. And I'm really grateful that you guys did conduct the film in the way that you did, because for someone like me who wouldn't really know, thinking that Cedric is the director and all that stuff, like I was like, I mean, I loved yours and your brother's like commentary, like, the whole dynamic and stuff, but I loved the film. I thought that the way that it was done as a comedy was just, it meshed very well,
Thank you so much.
That was like my first mockumentary that I've ever seen. So
it's so great to hear. We really do appreciate it. And like, I could sit here and listen to that all day.
Now, I do want to take a moment to talk about and just point out one other actor that was really good in it, and that was the one who played Wyatt.
Yeah, and Tyree.
Yeah,
he was fantastic. He's
so fun. The escalator scene.
Yeah, with Delilah.
I almost peed my pants.
He's not supposed to be in it. He's not supposed to be in that scene. That was not written. No.
Did he just do it?
He just got in there, and like that was I believe that was the first thing we shot with Tilt.
Oh, that's fantastic.
He's so good. And he got in there, and so we did one take, and like he ratcheted it up on the second. We probably did 3 takes total, maybe 2. And on the second one, he was doing the whole walking back up, and Delilah.
That's when I started.
We legitimately lost it at the end of that when he goes, "Stop talking to me, Seth. I'm talking to Delilah right now." To me, that was just the funniest thing. And legitimately, at the end of like when we had that scene and when that was done and when we cut that, I think, I had a sense. I was like, no matter what happens after this, no matter what this movie is, at least that scene is good. I know that scene is funny, and it had nothing to do with me. It's just a funny scene.
Some of my favorite scenes are with Wyatt. Like, there's an interview with Wyatt where Cedric is talking about the Rockemeyer brothers and the whole
Rockemeyer twins.
Ned, Ted, and Wyatt.
The triplets.
The Fred, yeah.
Fred.
But my name's Wyatt.
The whole middle name.
What's your middle name?
Oh my god,
Fred.
That's my favorite part.
And that was a good.
Was that an improv?
Yeah, absolutely improv. They made that up. They're
oh my gosh,
wow.
Because Robin and Wyatt, have been doing improv for decades.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
so they had been on teams together before, and they definitely had done that for
So
a long,
they were
long time.
familiar with
That was a
everything.
good setup and a good,
my
just knocked it out the
gosh.
park.
Sure.
And that was what's funny too is like one of the cameramen had gone home. However, it worked out. We didn't have one of the cameras, and so for that scene, we had to make up. We just shot it a different way than any of the other scenes because we didn't have both cameras at the same time. So you actually never hear Cedric talking. I'm gonna say you never see Cedric talking. You only hear Cedric. You only hear him talking because we only had the camera on Wyatt. So it's like the only interview in the whole place where we don't cut back to the person interviewing him. And so we made it work, but it was hard to do that because we had not done it like all the other ones where we had 2 cameras. But yeah, that was like I said, made up on the spot, and they just did a good job. That was not in this. We didn't even have it in the script to do an interview of him. We're like, we have like 15 minutes. We should get one real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was
I
like
just-
watching a tennis match. It was just
It was great.
it was
Why-
so great.
My name's Wyatt.
I know. I love his character though, and I love the arc that he kind of has through the movie too, where
He's got a good arc.
yeah, where and again, I don't want to give like everything. We spoil stuff on this show all the time. I feel like people are still gonna watch it, but
yeah.
Just the idea, I won't spoil it because there's some good stuff that happens with him, but just there's this like kind of almost like he gets this redemption, which is really cool, and it just that
I think
moment.
it's the one character you really want it for.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's like he's the everyman. He's not an everyman. Seth's an everyman. He's the lovable nerd. He's just so into it. He's a super fan, and you just want him to get his you want him to be rewarded for what he cares about.
Yeah,
and so
that's
that's
what I
what
love
happens
about
at
it.
the end. Yeah, and it's in his little moment with Ricky Six where you see the balance of power turn. Is like where he's take your seat now. And that little thing is so good, and that I just love it so much because their entire dynamic shifts in like 1 second.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happens with what we already talked about with the Fitz. Talking to Cedric because he does his little diatribe there. Sorry, he does his little diatribe. But with all these things, bad things you've done, what do you have to say for yourself, sort of thing? And like,
I love that.
flipped. I fixed it. Yeah. So I love those little moments, and they just nailed them. Yeah.
So we're running out of time, but before we go, I do want to talk about one more thing, and that was the song over the credits.
Yes, that was my question.
Why can't I find that anywhere?
What is that rap?
Because I want to find it, and it's driving me crazy.
I gleaned the credits to try and find the song credit for it, and it's not.
Yeah, local rapper Jamie Nelson's his real name. He goes by Cockamamie Jamie. Nice. And that was a thing where I was like, hey man, I need a song for the end of the movie. I think you're gonna do a really good job of it. And he's like, we were talking about it for probably 2 years, a year or something, like not talking about it back and forth or anything, just be like, hey man, you owe me a song. And he'd be like, yeah, I'll get to it. Hey man, you owe me a song. I'll get to it. And then we finally, I think it was probably because I had the premiere and everything. I was like, hey, I need the song. And so he put it together. I didn't say anything to him. It's a bit, I don't know if racy is the right word or whatever it is.
Yeah,
but it's just like, I can't, I have a lot of artist friends and a lot of, my wife and I, when we were getting married, we had him put together with a different friend, but I had him put together our invitation, right? And there was a picture, and so I was like, draw her, make an invitation for us. And he put me in the dress, and he put her in the suit, and all that stuff. And I'm like, got this pink stuff in my hair, and I was like, I guess that's what we're sending out. Like, you're the artist, man. I can't tell you no. So that was what I did with Cockamamie Jamie. Like, he delivered the song, and that was it. It wasn't like I helped him write the lyrics or anything. I was like, here, watch the movie, get some ideas of what's going on, and put it together, man.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Did he get?
I love it.
Did he take samples from the audio of the movie? Is that like Ricky Six in the beginning there? Like,
he was doing some low. No. I think he did some low voice stuff within it. Yeah, because a lot of in some of his other raps, he has that sort of thing to where he's playing multiple characters.
Yeah.
So I think that's what that was. But yeah, I love the song. We didn't.
that
I
rap
think
is
I told him to
amazing.
take
It's so
two bad words out or whatever, like slight things. I told him I was like, I just can't use that in a otherwise PG rated movie.
Right.
But aside from that, yeah, and it's really fun too at the Brick conventions. A couple times people would sit through the credits and then they would like, there's a line about Jesus and about this, and like people would be like, wait, what just happened to this movie?
Yeah.
How did we
It does
get
seem to go
here?
in a totally different direction, but it's pretty funny.
Oh,
I was laughing.
Star Wars references in there
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
It's just it's so great.
He's into professional wrestling a lot, and
Such a great flow.
he's a good rapper, man. For sure.
We got to find a way. I will pay.
I want to put this. I don't remember. Yeah, we got to figure out a way to get the song up on Spotify.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
I'm into it. I love
so
it.
Good, so good.
One thing I want to comment on is the quote, Cedric's quote. I love it by Robert Louis Stevenson.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. It's a little on the nose, but I think it helps tie it together in a good sort of way. And
it does.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, even if something's on the nose, like why not? In terms of if people can walk away with something and be like, yeah, like I'm gonna prefer what I prefer, and that's part of what makes me an individual. And as long as it's not hurting anyone and it's what's in my heart, then like there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
And that's one of the things, that's one of the reasons I really wanted to have you on the show and talk about the movie, because it was because of that at the end. That's kind of our philosophy. That's why we're called World Gone Geek. Like we want to celebrate the things people geek out about and are passionate about. It may not be the same thing that I geek out and are passionate about, but I want to hear why you're passionate about it. And so I love how that ended, just kind of like, and again, and we said it towards the beginning, it makes fun, and we make fun. We make fun of ourselves. We poke fun at the things that we love. But at the same time, it's respectful and it's still, honors the fact that this is something that people love. And so you don't feel like you're the butt of the joke. You're in on it. You're part of it, and it's loving. You know what I mean? Which I think is awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. Ted, my brother Ian, within the movie says it. We talked about that a while when we were at the baseball game and all that. And there's a couple lines in there, but that is paying respect to that. Of people, what are you going to do? Put gel in your hair and shower? Yeah. It's like it's still mocking him, but you're like, yeah, but what's really important? Yeah.
He's the best.
I love. Speaking of that, I love that the way you got. Ricky, you're so fine. I love
so dumb. That's one of those things you write in the script and you're like, this is awful.
Hey, Ricky.
This is not going to work at all.
That was fantastic.
Because he plays it so deadpan.
Yeah.
Because he's just staring forward and
right.
clapping. If he was like into it, you'd be like, oh, this is cheesy.
Yeah.
But
No.
because
Yep. It worked.
And what made it hilarious for me was that's exactly what was going through my head when that line was said. I'm like,
oh, okay.
So I'm
it
like,
played for you. Yeah.
It was like synchronicity. It was great. Loved it.
That's fun, man. Yeah.
So before we let you go, I want you to have a chance to tell people where they can find it. Now, I bought it digitally on Amazon Prime, but I know there's a Blu-ray. And tell folks how they can get a hold of this or see this. How can they do that?
BrickMadness.com, BrickMadnessMovie.com, same deal. And if you go there, you can definitely see how to get the Brickmaster Edition. We ended up buying some more. Those are really expensive. The little Lego minifigs are really expensive.
Yes.
They're like $7 a piece, $5 a piece when I bought them, a bunch of them the first time. But anyway, those are included in the Brickmaster Edition. You can get that. Then you can see all the little deleted scenes and all the other stuff and get a bunch of sort of swaggy type stuff that's really fun. And there's that. Or you can just buy
the
the
candy
normal.
is in there too, right?
The Brix bits. Yeah. I love how he freaks out about that. Ricky's look.
He's like,
yeah.
he gets all defensive.
Yeah. He just like, whoa. That's where you can get any of that stuff, or you can get the movie on Blu-ray or DVD if you're into that sort of thing. And if not, go to Amazon. Prime is the best place to get it. We are in the midst of releasing it on a whole bunch of other platforms.
Awesome.
But yeah, I would say, go watch it on Prime. That's pretty easy. And enjoy it, and hopefully put up a good review on Amazon or IMDb. That would be awesome. I'd love to hear back from everyone. And if you don't like it, then I'll give you your money back. Email me, text me, hit me up on Twitter. I'm never on there, but eventually I will get back to you.
Well,
I'll send you your money. I have no problem with that.
I think people are going to love it. And all the reviews that I am checked out, like people are really enjoying it, really like it. And I also noticed that you guys have won some awards at some festivals and stuff too for various things. And you deserve it. It's really funny. I think, and like I said, to those of you who are listening, or this is kind of what fandom is like, and just having fun with the things that we love, being able to poke a little fun of ourselves and then still celebrate the things that we're passionate about. This movie does that. So make sure to check it out. And Justin, thank you so much for being on our show. I can't thank you enough. I can't believe you showed up. No, I can't thank you enough for doing that, especially with the time difference. And thank you so much for your flexibility.
And thank you guys for watching it and caring and being able to, like, it's clear that you actually did watch it and did pay attention. Not that I've had people that haven't, but like, I love hearing the feedback and that you guys were into it. And then it wasn't like, oh shit, I got to put my hour and a half of that so I can talk about it to some extent.
No,
not at all.
I'm really happy to hear it. Yeah.
Great.
Well, and I'll just to be with full disclosure, like when I contacted you about the interview, I had only seen the trailer at that point. So I was like,
it might have not worked out.
It might not have, but it definitely did. I was very glad that it worked. Maybe you would have gotten an email saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't think the time worked out."
My computer, bro.
We'll figure something out.
We're not doing the show anymore. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
I've moved to an island without power.
Exactly.
Oh man!
No, thank you so much, guys. It was great being on.
Well, thanks for being here, and thanks to everybody for watching another episode of the podcast is RealLY Live, which that's the name of our show, by the way. Podcast is real. Since we didn't say, and we will be back in 2 weeks. We're going to be talking about actually lightsaber battling and stuff. Aaliyah won't be here; she'll be on vacation, but she also hasn't seen any of the Star Wars movies.
I said one. You can't say any.
We're working on Justin's face. Yeah, no, we're working on it. Aaliyah is the younger. She's the younger, represents the younger generation, and so she's learning some of these things that we grew up with, and we're the seasoned ones. We're not old.
That's what I call them.
We're seasoned. She calls us seasoned, which we appreciate. So,
she's only seen one Star Wars.
Yeah, one Star Wars.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna have Level Up Lightsabers will be here, and he does training on how to fight with them, and you can actually fight with these lightsabers. They're pretty cool. So want to check that out. Make sure and come back, and we'll see you guys then. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, yeah, we're on all those, and now TikTok, because that's awesome. And there's the movie.
And
Justin has it right there.
Madness.
That's right. Check that out. And we will see you guys in 2 weeks. So actually, we'll see you guys Thursday for game night, but we'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode of the podcast. Thanks so much, guys.